Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today's video we're looking at some cool budget build for the standard format. So as you can see in front of you, Eevolution with a Fearow. So the Fearow X and Y 57 promo card with the Delta Evolution, which means that you can evolve Spearow into Fearow on your turn 1. And with a single energy, you can hit for 20 times the actually numbers of the heads you can hit on the coin flip, or if you roll the dice, whatever. So repeating a drill for 20, and you can hit for 100. In theory, with one of those beautiful Flareon, Jolteon, or Vaporeon in play, you can maybe hit for weakness for 3 different types of the Pokemon. So you can probably go for 200 if you get lucky with 5 heads. On the other side, Nosedive can actually go for 80. And with 3 energies, this Pokemon will does 20 damage to itself. But we are going to definitely concentrate on that repeating drill because we can hit for like 100 damage with it with just a single energy card. On the other side, if you want to increase the damage that we can do to our opponent, I think that Bursting Balloon is definitely a good card for this build, because with Bursting Balloon you can easily force your opponent to attack and take back 6 damage counters, which is very good, especially with 4 bursting balloons and 1 eco arm. It can be 7 bursting balloons in total, so that's like 7 times 60, 420 damage. It's not something to ignore. And of course, on the other side, 2 copies of Eevee and 1 of each evolutions. So with that ability, which can add your opponent stage 1 Pokemon extra type, so Flareon for the fire, Jolteon for the lighting, and basically Vaporeon for that water type. And of course, the deck run also 1 copy of Octillery and Remoraid for that Abyssal hand, so we can get 5 cards until we have in our hand in case of N in the late game, so I think it's pretty decent. So from other cards, as you can see, 37 trainer cards, a lot of different trainer cards. I decided to go with 1 eco arm, shuffle 3 Pokemon tool card from your discard pile into your deck, so we can recycle float stones and bursting balloons. 1 escape rope, always good to have. 4 copies of level ball, because this deck is 90 HP or less, so with level ball I can just grab whatever I want. 2 copies of Super Road, because, well, 90 HP, all Pokemons can easily be knocked out, so being able to shuffle back 6 Pokemons is what I need, because my opponent will need to take 6 prize cards and 6 knockouts. 3 copies of Trainer's Mails, so didn't find a way to get a 4th one. 2 copies of Ultra Ball, so with the Ultra Ball, I decided to go with the Ultra Ball instead of the Repeat Ball, because if I have Octillery in play, sometimes I want to discard something in addition to be able to draw some extra cards with the Abyssal hand. Of course, 4 copies of V-Seeker, must have. From supporter cards, I decided to go with 1 Bridget. At the beginning, when I played this build, there was 2 Bridget in this deck for the better turn 1 consistency. But then later I think about, well, if I don't hit Bridget turn 1, I will have like 2 dead cards in my deck. So running 1 copy of Bridget is pretty decent. If you could get it turn 1, 2, you can set up. If you can't get it, you will not be able to set up. 1 copy of Hex Maniac, as always. Good to have. 1 copy of Lysander. Maybe even a second Lysander wouldn't be that bad. Just to be able to maybe spread damage around the board to your opponent. On the other side, 4 copies of N, so each player shuffle his or her hand in deck, then each player draws the cards for each of his or her remaining prize cards. Pretty good cards. I mean, I decided to go with 4 copies of N because no shaming. Best consistency of running 8 draw supporter cards. 1 Ranger, of course, in case of the Glaceon. 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, so I can discard hand draw 7. In addition to that, 2 copies of Silent Lab. Silent Lab is a perfect stadium for this build because I have stage 1 Pokemons with abilities. If I can go first, put Silent Lab in play, my opponent might not be able to set up or scan the ring, so that's very important. And of course, I need to have some kind of the stadium in play. The 4 copies of Bursting Balloon. As you know, If your opponent tries to attack, it will take 6 damage, counters back, 2 copies of Floatstone, and 8 energies. So I decided to go with 2 double cores energies only, because I can attack with just a single energy. But of course, sometimes I might just use that nosedive. And of course, 6 basic energy cards, 3 fire and 3 lighting. That's just because I might somehow use that Heat Breath for 80 maybe, or Thunder Blast for 80. So you never know. Maybe you find yourself in trouble, and it might help you to use those Jolteon or Flareon attacks. Maybe I can even add, for example, 2 water energies, totally forget. So I can actually go with my Vaporeon even. In case, you never know, maybe sometimes you're gonna find yourself in a trouble and you would like to use those evolution attacks. So as usual, if you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on CCGCastle.com. With TCG Center 5 code, you can also get 5% discount on your purchase, so you can also keep that in mind. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see how that works. So see you in the game. Alright, so opening hand, I guess not the best, but it can be even worse. So I'm going to put my Eevee on the bench. At least I have Fearow in the active. I have 1 Flareon and 1 Fearow. I can evolve both Pokemons. Okay, so Oddish on the other side. If it's a green deck or grass deck on the other side, I can just use my Flareon. There's a Trainer's Mail for the Ninja Boy, so let's see what he can get with the Trainer's Mail number 2. Acrobike. Okay, so I guess I can Lysander his Vileplume once he will have it in play, but hopefully he will have it without Floatstone in play. So there is Oddish number 2, which means that he can easily use Ninja Boy and remove his active Oddish with something else. More than that, I need somehow to find at least energy cards. So there's 1 double core's energy attached on the Oddish. This is gonna be a Ninja Boy. Let's see what kind of the Pokemon he will take with the Ninja Boy right here. I mean, maybe he can go with a Mew. Okay. Interesting. Shaming for like 4 cards. So far, I'm good as long as Oddish stay in the active position without Floatstone. But I wouldn't be even surprised to see N from the other side. 2 Acrobikes, 2 Trainer's Mails. There is Eevolution EX. I wish I go first and I had that. Okay, so there is... that's interesting. There's a double Course Energy as my top deck, and I can grab with my Level Ball something like a Jolteon, but I will definitely grab my Remoraid right here. And more than that, I'm going to use my Lysander. But not sure if I should attack his Mew. I need to hit 3 coins. So I'm definitely looking forward to attack with my Fearow his Eevolution. And let's see how many heads I can get. So there is 1 tails, 1 heads, 2 heads. That's 40 damage. It's decent damage amount for sure. I actually decided to grab Remoraid instead of the Jolteon because I can always put Jolteon if I get Sycamore in play. But being able to have that Abyssal hand is very important, especially because there's a Manaphy, so he can have free retreat right now with his Eevolution. But he just decided to attach 1 Rainbow Energy on the Mew, and there is Sycamore for 7. So if he can find Floatstone, he can definitely retreat and knock me out with that Evil Ball. And there is 1 Glum on the other side, so hopefully at least he's not going to be able to retreat. There's an Ultra Ball, so he can pick between 2 Force of the Jump Plan discarded. He can go between Shaman or a Vileplume, but he decided to grab that Shaman in play. At least I have Lysander, so in case he managed to get Vileplume without Flowstone, I will try to Lysander his Vileplume probably. There's a Ranger. Well, Mew is the only attacker that he had at this moment, so I need to hit only 2 heads. There is 1, there is 2, there are 3 heads, 4 heads, that's 80 damage. So Mew is knocked out, so he lost 3 energy cards right here. And I will take 1 prize, which is very important, and it's Professor Sycamore. So that was a risky move, but actually I made a benefit from it. So far so good. I'm not going to be able to find another Lysander so far, so I will definitely need to put my Jolteon as soon as possible in place so I can counter his Eevoltal EX with 50 damage already on it. So even hitting for 80 is going to be enough, because even less than 80, 70 damage is going to be enough. Even 60, almost 60 would be enough. Yeah, it would be. 3 heads on the coin flip would be enough, because he have 170 HP. So there's at least Octillery that I managed to find, and a Silent Lab. So other cards not usable, so I'm going to use my Repeating Drill. There is 1 heads, 2 heads, 40 damage, not bad. So far, that luck with the Vileplume make more problems to my opponent than done to me. And he can Sky Return right here, but there is N, which means that I will get 5 new cards. Hopefully tons of Fearows and Spearows. Well, 1 Spearow, 1 Water Energy, I'm happy with that. At least I managed to get my N. But more than that, I can Abyssal Hand always for 2 extra cards. So I really need to find a way to get my Jolteon in play as soon as possible. So there is Sky Return for 30, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that another Shaman in the active position, as I mentioned it. So 1 energy to be attached. Where? Let's take a risk. Abyssal Hand for 1. I just need to find right now Jolteon. And his Shaman is knocked out. Just like that. Okay, right now I can't use my Nosedive, because I will take 20 damage. We'll just use that Repeating Drill. Just 40 damage, but okay. He cannot set up. That's the most important thing. There's a Silent Lab in play, and he discarded all stadiums, and he cannot remove my Silent Lab from play. So he's not going to be able to set up. On the other side, I do have Bridget, which means that I can grab 2 more basic Pokemons, something like Eevee. There's a Jolteon on the other side, and a Double Course Energy. He can at least try to Sky Return and put his Jolteon in the active spot. So he can try to make that loop with the Sky Return. But no, he decided to put his Eevoltal EX. So I'm definitely looking forward to use my Bridget for 1 more Eevee and 1 more Spearow. There we go, 1 Abyssal Hand. Is this gonna be Jolteon as a top deck? Nope. Put my Vaporeon in play, and I can hit right here with my Nosedive for 80, doing 20 damage to myself, but I'm gonna be knocked out by any means next turn, so I don't have another option. I just need to find a way to get that Jolteon somehow in play. So there's another Double Course Energy attached on his Eevoltal, and right now he can use Ice Cyclone for 90, it's gonna be enough for the knockout. And he can remove his Rainbow Energy, maybe even on the Jolteon. Wouldn't be surprised to see that move, yep, as I mentioned it. So, Spearow to be promoted in the active. And there's just a Trainer's Mail as a top deck. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to play my trainer cards, so there's just another V-Seeker as a top deck. I'm going to pass my turn. I mean, at least he needs to have that Rainbow Energy if he wants to attack, and he already played 2 of them. So there's a 50% chance that he's not going to be able to attack. There's a Jolteon number 2 on his bench. More than that, I have 5 item cards sitting in my hand, and there is Big Professor Sycamore on the other side. He even discarded a Lysander, I see, and some other resources. But the most important thing is that he needs to miss a Rainbow Energy attachment right here. And there's just a Water Energy. I mean, he can always retreat and use Swift, but there is very nice top deck, which is a Fearow. Right now, I can try to get 2 heads and knock out his Eevoltal. There is 1 heads, 2 heads, 3 heads. 3 heads, that's 60 damage. And I can grab 2 prize cards. Energy and energy. Okay, so far not bad. Jolteon can use Flash Ray. The biggest problem is that I'm weak. So this Jolteon is definitely going to be able to clear my Fearows so easily. Where on the other side, I cannot play my item cards until I manage to hit that freaking Hex Maniac. But once I love to hit the Hex Maniac, I'm definitely going to be in a good position. And he just decided to Lysander my Octillery, and I'm thankful for that. So there's a Swift for 30. This attack isn't affected by weakness and resistance. If you didn't know that right now, you can know that. I'm going to pass my turn. It's good so far. I just need to find a way to get my Hex Maniac somehow. If I hit Hex Maniac, I know that I will definitely grab Lysander, so I can Lysander his Vileplume in the active position. But on the other side, even, as I said, even if I manage to get that, he can always retreat just by attaching 1 Water Energy or Rainbow Energy on his Vileplume. I guess I'm going to put my Fearow and we'll try to do some Repeating Drill right here. But more than that, there is Professor Sycamore, a big Sycamore for 7. I lost so many V-Seekers right here. That's not true. So there's Jolteon. I guess I can attach energy, but do I really want to do that? I guess no for now. Or maybe yes. I have only 1 Water Energy left and 1 Double Colors Energy. So I'm going to use my Repeating Drill right here. So I need to get at least 3 heads. No, 0 heads, so 0 damage. Okay. And finally he managed to get that Rainbow Energy, so he can go with the Flash Ray for the knockout, 140. That was the biggest. Okay, so 2 copies of N. And all I can do is just go with my Sycamore for 7. At least I managed to get Double Colors Energy, so I can try to knock out right here his Jolteon with my Thunder Blast. I mean, he cannot hit for more than like a 70, so my Jolteon is going to knock out his Jolteon EX, so he definitely needs to retreat right here if he wants to preserve his Jolteon. So he have 90 damage on it. Next turn he's going to be knocked out. And there's a N, so I will take 3 cards. He will take 3 cards, but I think I'm in much better position right now. Especially because I also have free retreat. There's a Shaman. Oh, he played Shaman with a Silent Lab in play? A brilliant. So Fearow managed to beat his expensive Jolteon list. I'm kind of surprised that he used Shaman with Silent Lab in play. So, our next challenge is gonna be a pure water deck on the other side. So let's see if it's a Greninja break or if it's something else. So I don't have basic Pokemon, which means that I need to reshuffle my cards back into my deck and draw 7 new. On the other side, my opponent will be able to take 1 extra card because of the mulligan. So that's the rules, if you didn't know that, or if you're new to the game. Let's see, 7 new cards. I see 2 Fearows, 2 level balls, but a 0 or a 0 Spearows. So I remember my first team deck that I actually purchased. I think 14 years ago or something like that, maybe even 15. It was Latent Surge deck, and that Latent Surge deck contained like 4 Latent Surge Spearows, 4 Lieutenant Surge Magnemites, 4 Lieutenant Surge Pikachus, 1 Lieutenant Surge Magnetone, I guess 2 Voltorbs, 0 Electrodes. Not sure what else that deck contained. Of course, a rare Lieutenant Surge. The only holo card in that deck was Lieutenant Surge Magnetone. I guess I should get that deck one day again. It has a lot of sentimental value to me. So I'm going to use my level ball right here. So right now I have Remoraid, but I don't have Artillery. I'm going to take another Fearow, so I can put it into my play. Oh, I totally forget that I have Artillery in my hand. What the heck? Never mind. Ultra Ball for a Remoraid. And 1 Lighting Energy on my Fearow, so I can pass my turn. Next turn I can have Artillery, Abyssal Hand for 5. Okay, so totally forget, I didn't even watch my hand. Yeah, as I mentioned, that Lieutenant Surge deck was, I guess that the best team deck from the Gym series was... You gotta be kidding me, he just licensed on my Remoraid. Blaine Arcanine deck. Arcanine was so strong. 4 energies for 120, I remember that back then. So there is 1 energy on his Gyarados. And luckily he gets Tails on the coin flip. So my top deck is a Bridget. I'm definitely looking forward to use first my Abyssal Hand. There is a double Chorus energy, which means that I can always pay retreat with my Artillery if I want. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't do that. I'm thinking about... He's weak on the lighting. I'm thinking about playing my N and getting maybe Floatstone. It's gonna be much better. There's no Floatstone, but there's Escape Rope, so it's the same, it will help. I can Escape Rope, I can Level Ball into my Fearow, and I can even Ultra Ball for something like Jolteon, but not gonna do that this turn. Okay. Just because I actually want to keep my Eco Arm for later. I will definitely need it. So let's see how many heads I can get with my Repeating Drill. 1 heads, 2 heads, 3 heads, 4, no, just a 60, which means that he can heal 30. Since there's a Rough Season play, I can also put my Vaporeon in action, so I can heal 30 damage. There's XP share on his Gyarados, and Delta Wind, Delta Plus, whatever, Articuno, so 30 damage healed. And let's see what else he can do. I mean, he can for sure search his deck for 2 tool cards and put them into his hand. Probably I'm going to use my N again, discarding my Ultra Ball, top deck card, and the Hex Maniac. So there is a Deep Sea Search with that Relicanth. Okay, Finding Fury Belt. Isn't search a deck for up to 2? Up to 2, okay. Makes sense. Floatstone. Well, I guess I can recycle that Floatstone with my Eco Arm. So let's go with the Ultra Ball for the Jolteon. Easel Hand for like a tree. Fearow and the Bursting Balloon. I will help a little bit right here my opponent with that N, but that's just because I want to keep my Eco Arm for later. There is Silent Lab, and I think I will definitely put Silent Lab in play. Maybe not, but probably I will. So another Eevee. Let's go with the Silent Lab actually. So I need 3 heads. That's not that easy task. There is 1 heads. Oh, luckily 3 of 5, so that's 60 damage. Enough for the knockout. We'll take one prize right here, but definitely what makes Smile is a weakness on that Gyarados, so I can just easily go for like weakness. One prize to take. It's a Flareon. I guess I can even evolve my Eevee into Flareon because I don't have a Vaporeon in my deck. So there is Delta Articuno. He can always try to sleep with that Chilling Sight. In the meantime, I definitely need to find a way to get my Lysander somehow, so I can grab maybe 2 prize cards against that Gyarados. Once Gyarados can actually start to attack, it will be one-hit knockout from turn to turn, but the biggest problem is going to be Glaceon Crystal Ray. But luckily, with those bursting balloons, I can defend myself somehow by forcing my opponent to take some damage counters in case he decides to attack. So there is one water energy attached on his Gyarados. And there is a dive ball. So let's take a look what he can grab with the dive ball right here. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe extra Articuno or actually Manaphy, so he can have the free retreat with it. But luckily there's a Silent Lab in place, so he cannot use his ability as long as I have Silent Lab in play. There is one water energy, so at least he can try to Chilling Sight. I mean, he can use Chilling Sight, and I need to try Wake Up by flipping the coin, and I managed to Wake Up. Alright, that's very important. There is a nice top deck, which is another Fearow. I'm going to play my N. Oh, I totally forget to put my Flareon in play. Okay, never mind. One useless card in my deck. One water energy, one level ball for another Fearow, so I can have 2 more Fearows already on my bench. I can even easily have 2 extra cards right here, so let's take a look, maybe for some another Bursting Balloon. No, but there's at least a Flareon, so I can play that Flareon. I mean, Flareon can even hit for 80 if I get heads, but let's go with Repeating Drill. How many heads I can get right here? So there is 1. 2, okay, 40 damage. I'm happy with that. Definitely, as long as Silent Lab is in play instead of the Rough Seas, I guess I can be happy with that. On the other side, there's a Steven. I can next turn retreat on my Jolteon and knock out his Articuno if I really want to do that, or I can just find Double Course Energy, attach on my Fearow, go for 80 with that Nosedive. There's a Steven for Ninja Boy and Water Energy card. Okay, so I wouldn't be even surprised to see my opponent play Ninja Boy, removing his Gyarados for Glaceon. That would be definitely great. Okay, right now he attached 1 water energy onto Glaceon. Definitely I'm going to be asleep again. So that Chilling Sight will do the job. On the other side, well, I can attach 1 Lightning Energy on my Jolteon, and I can go with the Sycamore for 7. There is even Binacle. Okay. It's very important to wake up right now and to hit something like 80 damage. Well, there's a Bursting Balloon as a top deck. I decide to attach my Lightning Energy on Jolteon. Okay, and I managed to get Double Course Energy right here. Never mind. Repeating Drill. Let's see if I can get 4 heads. Not gonna happen. 3 of them is gonna be 60 damage. So short for 20. Unfortunately, short for 20. Articuno is not going to be knocked out this turn, but at least there is a Bursting Balloon, and I think this is the Bursting Balloon just number 2. There's another Dive Ball, so he can grab his Barbaracle probably right now. And if he actually put Barbaracle and Stadium in play, oh no, there's a Kyurem EX. There's a lot of different EXs at this moment in my opponent. On my opponent bench, this is the Glaciate Kyurem EX. So If he wants to use Glaciate, I can easily put my Vaporeon in play, so I can heal all 30 damage from turn to turn. The biggest concern at this moment definitely is that I have only 12 cards left and 5 price to take. There's another Water Energy already attached on his Glaceon, and I still don't have... okay, there's a Ninja Boy. The moment of truth, which Pokemon is going to be replaced? Oh, so he replaced his Articuno with the Lapras, and right now he can search his deck for a trainer card with that Errand running. Very nice. I would be so happy to top deck something like a Lysander. Okay, so he just decided to grab that Rough Seas. Just the Water Energy as a top deck. Well, repeating drill. 1 heads, 2 heads, 2 heads, that's 40 damage. And now for the knockout. His Lapras is a knock it out. But right now, actually problems are gonna start, because Glaceon is gonna be promoted, Crystal Ray is gonna happen, and I'm not gonna be able to respond back, so I really need to find a way to get my Bursting Balloons back. I know what's gonna be strategy right here. So for the few turns, I will definitely let my opponent knock out as many Fearows as he can, so I can use my Super Roads and go with the Sycamore for 7. So that's what I'm looking forward to do. I can heal some damage off. But more than that, I can even attach Floatstone, and I can... I don't want to play V-Seeker because of the Ranger. I'm going just to pass. There's a Max Elixir, so he can attach 1 energy card. I'm definitely gonna be knocked out. So the biggest problem is I still don't have those Bursting Balloons, and I need to find them. So this Glaceon is gonna use Crystal Ray over and over and over, repeatedly, again. So I will put my Artillery because I have Floatstone on it in the active. Just don't know what I can top deck. 1 Bursting Balloon. Right now it's actually a time to see how my opponent is going to respond. I mean, I can attack, but I can do 0 damage. But at least there's a Bursting Balloon, as I mentioned it, so right now it's the moment of truth. Will he use his Crystal Ray and take 6 damage counters back? Who knows? Maybe. Still, I'm looking forward for that Pokemon Ranger. There is V-Seeker for Ninja Boy. So let's see what he can do with the Ninja Boy right now. Maybe he can... I don't know what he can do with the Ninja Boy. Glaceon is definitely the best thing he can do. Oh, Slowpoke for the Slowking. Okay, makes a lot of sense. If he can get heads on the coin flip, he can remove 1 of my Water Energies from the Fearow to 1 of my benched Pokemon, so even Artillery can use the attack. I mean, that's just a hog for 40. Nothing special right here, but still looking forward to knock out that Glaceon. Once I knock out the Glaceon, everything is going to be much smoother. So there's a Bursting Balloon, and there's 60 damage, and there's a V-Seeker as a top deck. I still don't know how I can heal the damage from my Fearow, because he's a Colress type and I don't have a Vaporeon in play. I'm going to use my V-Seeker right now. I think it's the time to use it. So Super Road and 1 V-Seeker for M. And I still don't know where is my Pokemon Ranger located, and I really need to find it. So there is at least a bursting balloon, and I will definitely use it. And my eco arm. And there we go. So I can use my trainer's mail. There's just a bursting balloon. I don't want to take that. Let's go with a Beazle hand for 4. At least I have 16 cards left. There is another trainer's mail. Yep, there's a Pokemon Ranger. So that was the card I was looking for. Repeating drill for 0, but at least I managed to get my Ranger. If he tries to attack, he's going to take 6 damage counters back. And I'm going to be able to knock him out with my Jolteon for 80. That's very important. But on the other side, in that case, he can knock me out with his Gyarados. And I will not have my Jolteon, and I'm not going to be able to attack for that weakness. So, I might do a little mistake attaching the double course energy on my Flareon. But really doesn't matter too much as long as he's going to attack me right here with his Crystal Ray for 70. So my Fearow is knock it out, and I'm going to put my artillery in the active spot. So far, so good. Let's see what is the best thing I can do right here. I definitely want to use my Ranger, there is no doubt about that. So, 1 lighting energy on the Fearow, a Beazle hand for 2. So what can I get right here? Oh, 2 more bursting balloons. Thunder Blast for 80, plus 90, it's 170. I will discard my lighting energy from my Jolteon, but more than that, I can take 2 prize cards, and all I really need is a Lysander, his a Manaphy on the bench, and knock it out. If he tries to attack with his Gyarados right now, he will take 6 damage counters back. But more than that, I don't have another attacker right here. Just 1 Fearow. A Flareon cannot easily be knocked out. That's very important. I have 2 more bursting balloons left, so those bursting balloons are definitely going to help a lot. This game takes so long. I guess it will be like a half hour of play. So there is Gyarados with 5 energies, so he's definitely on steroids right here. Let's see what he can do. Definitely he can go for 130 with that Splash Burn, taking 6 damage counters back, knocking out my Jolteon. I could take a risk by gambling, knocking out my opponent Glaceon with my Flareon, but I actually didn't do that, and he just decided to use Team Flare Grunt. Maybe he passed his turn right here, but that would definitely be the biggest mistake he can do. Oh, he just decided to retreat and use Glaciate. This attack will do 30 damage to my Pokemons in play, but also 30 damage to my Jolteon, which means that he will take 6 damage counters back. Okay, so I can heal some damage off. What the heck is going on right here? I can heal all damage from all of my Pokemons in play. That's cheating, I guess. I don't feel comfortable, but it is how it is. A bursting balloon on my Flareon. A retreat. And down to 2 cards, just because I have a Beazle hand. I can get some more cards with my Beazle hand right here. I still don't know how I can heal damage with my Arceus. Oh, a lighting. Oh yes, a lighting Pokemons. Totally forget about that. 1 trainer's mail, just for the Sycamore. Totally forget Arceus. I have Jolteon in play, so I can heal all damage from all of my Pokemons in play. So there's just a 60 damage. And that's it. Pretty much, if he tries to attack, it's gonna be it. On the other side, I need just to find a way to get my Lysander, so I can knock out his Current because he has 90 damage. He can always try to retreat and knock me out with his Gyarados. But again, Gyarados will take 6 damage counters back. There's another Articuno with that Chilling Sight. It's a nightmare card for this deck, definitely. So far, so good. Splash Burn for 260. Of course, I'm knock it out. 10 damage to all of his Pokemon in play, plus 6 damage counters from that first on his Gyarados. Of course, I'm going to put my artillery in the active position. 1 energy to be attached, or not. Sycamore to be played, or not. I will grab Bridget right here, just to try find some Spearows. I do have that Lysander, which is very important. I need it so badly. So 1 more energy. That Abyssal Hand is going to be for 4. And I also need... I have that Super, but I'm not going to use it now. So Repeating Drill, how many hands I can get? 1, 2, 3. So that's 120. That's enough for the knockout. So last 2 prize cards taken by knocking out the Gyarados. That was definitely very, very hard match to play. But at the end, managed to win somehow. And that's it. So 2 wins in a row. So guys, once again, there's the full deck list that I used to play today in those 2 battles. So it was definitely interesting. And very, very funny to play with this deck. It's budget build. I guess you can get these cards for like 30 bucks, 40 maybe, at this moment if you don't have any of these cards. I think this deck will not cost you more than like 30-40 bucks, but it's definitely very pleasure and it's interesting to play with it. So you can hit for that Fearow for tons of damage, depending on how many heads you can get on the coin flip and how many luck you have. But also this card looks so badass. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my channel if you already didn't for more future videos. If you have any questions, also don't forget to leave comments below. Till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.